Good afternoon, East Middle School. We are so excited to be joined today by Deputy Kriener as she will take some time out of her day to present some very important information and reminders for us to have a safe school year here at East Middle School. So please be on your fullest attention as she has a chance to share and go through some various topics that are very important for us to know. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Deputy Mackenzie Kriener with Grand Traverse County Sheriff's Office. I've been a police officer for 25 years. I've been at Grand Traverse County for 3 years now. My role here is a community policing officer, so I'm a CPO. I do a little bit of everything. So I take calls on the road and then I come into the schools as well to work with the kids. That's where my community policing comes in. So we're dealing with things in the school with bullying, issues with Snapchat, sharing messages. That's kind of my role that I play in the schools, as long as different programs that I teach as well. And just making sure that there's basic safety throughout the school with all the kids and that they feel safe as well. In locus parentis, this is the legal responsibility for some person or organization to perform some of the functions or responsibilities of parent. It's basically the obligation for you guys to listen to the school. They're your parents at this point in time, okay? You leave your house, you come to school, they're in charge of you at this point, okay? So you're not being incorrigible, you're not being disrespectful. It's their job to make sure that you guys are on task and doing what you're supposed to be doing. They're the ones that are in charge of you at this point in time. Attendancy and truancy. So definition of truancy. It's basically you guys repeatedly not coming to school. So if you're sick, that's okay. Your parents call in, say that you're sick. But if you're constantly not coming to school and it's I'm sick or I don't feel well or I'm being bullied at school, you can get in trouble for that. Okay, it's not your parents' responsibility, it's now your responsibility to get yourself up and get to school. You can go to court for that. You can go on probation for truancy as well. Okay. Your parents can get in trouble as well if the prosecutor's office wants to pursue charges and go through with them. Your parents and yourself can get in trouble. So it's not a situation where you're like, well, I'm just not going to come to school and that's okay. I'm not going to get in trouble. No, at this time, it's you. When you're younger, it goes on the parents, but now it's your guys' responsibility as well to get yourself to school. You're old enough to do that. Tardiness, cutting class, that's also considered truancy. Okay, so you guys aren't making it on time. Get to your classes. Don't be dilly-dallying. Get to where you need to be. Okay, if you've got to go somewhere, check in with your teacher and say, hey, I've got to go to the counselor, I've got to go to the principal's office, I've got to talk to somebody. Check in first, because then they don't know where you're at. And they need to know where you're at all times. Okay? You must attend school till the age of 18. Okay? So don't say, hey, I'm going to drop out. It's not a good thing. Okay? We all want to get jobs in life. Working at McDonald's is not ideal. Okay? It doesn't pay well, it doesn't pay the bills. Okay? So you need to come to school, get that education. Okay? Bullying versus stalking. So these are two different things, bullying and stalking. Bullying is kind of where we start out at the lower level where you guys are at right now, okay? Bullying is something repeated over and over and over again. So kind of an example of that is if somebody was to pull my hair or say, hey, that shirt's ugly, that's just people being mean, okay? It's not nice, it's not being kind, but it's not bullying. If it happens over and over, like they start saying, you know, you're ugly, you're stupid, making inappropriate comments to you over and over, pushing you into lockers, beating you up, that's a different thing. That goes into assault, which we'll talk about later, but that's bullying. So I get a lot of people are like, oh, this person's bullying me because they called me stupid. That's just people being unkind. So let's kind of remember what the definition is of bullying and what you learned in younger school levels of what it is, and kind of be able to also step up and say, listen, that isn't cool. If Johnny is being mean to you, say, hey, listen, Johnny, I'm not okay with that. Stop, leave me alone, but tell them what you want them to stop doing. Just don't say, leave me alone. Say, hey, I'd like you to stop making those inappropriate comments. Stop calling me names. Stop calling me stupid. If you address that behavior, maybe it will stop. If it doesn't, that's where then you can go to an adult, and that's where they can help you through and guide you. That's what the school is here for. Okay, you guys have certain bullying policies here and what's accepted and what's not accepted. With stalking, that kind of, it can go into the high school level. That's kind of where we get a little bit of it. Boyfriend and girlfriend are dating, and then all of a sudden they break up. And that boyfriend or girlfriend, because girls can do it just as much as boys can, starts stalking them. going to their basketball games or a sport or where they work repeatedly. So that's kind of where you also have to step in and tell that person to stop coming to my work. Stop coming to my sport games. We're done. I don't want you near me. It has to be, in order for us to pursue with the stalking charges, it has to be 2 repeated acts. So it happened once, it happened a second time, you've told them to stop. That's where you then report it and let somebody know about it. Don't keep it a secret, because then it just becomes more of an issue, and we need to stop that before it gets out of hand. Okay? And that's really where it starts into a high school level and into adult life, is where we get a lot of the stalking issues that we have. School versus law enforcement response to these situations. The school will take responsibility. If it's getting out of hand, that's when they will take it and give us a call. Obviously, if I want to point this out as well, if stuff is happening out of school, that's not going to be on you to come to the school and say, listen, I was at home and Susie started bothering me and started bullying me over social media. That's where law enforcement will get involved there, because it's happening out of school. What we need to understand is we can't bring that into school and expect the school to handle that at that point, because it's not their responsibility. It's going to be your parents giving us, law enforcement, a call and having us deal with those out-of-school issues. Don't bring them into the school. So our next topic is going to be online safety, which is a big thing. So we've got a lot of things to talk about here. We're going to talk about our personal information, game consoles, Xbox, PlayStations, etc., online search engines, social media, Snapchat messages and stories, dating people online that you've never met face-to-face, and asking to meet up. So we're going to go through each one of these. Personal information. Don't be putting your personal information out there. Okay? That's also a thing to let mom and dad know. Okay? They have Facebook or Instagram, Snapchat as well. Putting your information out there. Okay? Where you go to school. Posting pictures of you in your TC East Middle School, football, basketball, volleyball, whatever sport you're putting, and then you're putting it online. People can find you that way. Just like when your parents are like taking a picture of you first day of school and they say, where are you going to school? We don't want that information out there, because that's where people become creepy and your information gets out there, and that's an easy way for them to find you. If you have a TC East Middle School on Instagram or Snapchat, easy enough for me to find you. Okay? Big thing with those locations, everybody wants you to have your Snapchat location on. I get it. Maybe parents want to know where you're at. Might be a different app that they need to track you on. Because Snapchat, easy way for me to pull it up and figure out where you're at if I become your friend. Because I now say I'm 15 when I'm really not. I'm a creepy old person living in my mom's basement pretending to be that person. Okay? And that's how people connect with you. Game consoles, people start contacting you on those and asking you for information. Had an individual, he was playing his Xbox. They started asking him for his name, where he went to school. Luckily, he knew enough not to put that information out there, but people sometimes share that thinking, oh, I'm just playing whatever games you guys are playing now, Fortnite, whatever, Grand Theft Auto, and people are contacting you on those. Don't give that information out. Easy enough for me to find your house. Okay? Online search engines. Basically, being careful what you're looking at, and if somebody does contact you, you're letting somebody know about that. Okay? Mom, dad, whoever you live with, trusted adult, maybe mom, dad don't get you, doesn't understand. Tell somebody, because if we don't know that's going on, all of a sudden you go missing, we've got nowhere to start. Okay? Because we don't know. Social media, big thing. Okay? Don't put a whole bunch of your information out on social media. I know it's great to look on TikTok. It's really cool. Instagram, Snapchat. Whatever you guys are using, it's great, but you need to figure out what information you're putting out there. Okay? What stories you're putting on there. You're at a game and you're posting, you went to a varsity football game and they won, and you're putting all the information with where you were at. It's easy enough for me to find out, oh, well, they like football, so that's where I'm going to go that day to find them. Okay? And sharing information. We all get to a point in our life where we don't think our parents understand us, and so we find somebody else that can relate to us, and we start talking to them and sharing information. And before we know it, we've also decided that we're going to be friends with them and we're going to meet up. Never meet up with somebody you don't know. You may think, oh, they're my best friend. I know who they are. They know everything about me. They understand me. And then you go meet up, and there you go. Poof, you're gone. Okay? I get it. Talk to somebody if you're having trouble at school or things are bothering you. Okay? Before these things turn into something else and your parents then don't know what to do and it gets out of hand. I know we can get ashamed of sharing that information and feeling like, oh, man, I should have known that. Owning up to it's the biggest thing of saying, you know what, I messed up. I told them where I lived, which is the craziest thing, but kids will do that. Now they know where I live. Okay? That's where maybe you need to be more cautious of if somebody's passing by the house and you're like, wait a minute. I don't notice that vehicle, letting somebody know about that so law enforcement can also deal with that issue as well. All right, inappropriate messaging. So digital sharing of intimate images, videos, or messages with another person. Basically, I'm going to explain this out. Okay, you send a picture to somebody. So you're A, you send it to B, and B sends it to C, and it stops there. But you don't want to be sharing pictures of yourself to anybody, whether it's just a person in a bra, a guy with no shirt on and you're just in your boxer shorts. Sending those pictures to other people is illegal. Okay? If A sends it to B and B's parents find out and show the police, you can be in trouble for child pornography. Okay? You don't want that. That follows you. It's not a reputation that you want. Also, if you're dating somebody, boyfriend, girlfriend situation, we get into these a lot. They break up. Girlfriend has sent some naked pictures of herself to the boyfriend because he said, if you don't send these to me, I'm going to break up with you. So she sends them. Well, then she finally decides that, okay, this guy's not good for me. I need to break up with him. And then he decides that he's going to send these to the whole football team. Okay? If the whole football team receives these and they keep sending them on, you're in trouble, and it's a felony. And it's child pornography. That's not something for some of you that want to go on to high school and do high school sports or go on to college and play sports or get a job. Those things we can find. When we're interviewing people for jobs, we look on social media. We Google your name, and we can figure out that John Smith in 8th grade shared a naked picture with himself to Jenny, and it just doesn't look bad. It's not somebody that the school wants or an organization wants in their department as well. Other types of inappropriate photos that are meant for one individual will often be further distributed. So we just need to be careful who we're talking to, who we're sending things to. My advice to you is don't be sending naked pictures or anything to anybody. I do not care if somebody threatens to break up with you. Okay? If you think you're going to be best friends or this is going to be who you're going to marry, okay? Don't be sending those things out, okay? It follows you through life. Drugs, alcohol, and pills. So we're going to start with drugs. Vapes, dab pens, marijuana, and unknown content. Just not acceptable, okay? Vaping, some of you may have seen me. You may have gotten a citation from me. We take this seriously. At a school level, they take their consequences as well. The school will with you. We as law enforcement will write you a citation. The more offenses you get, the higher the fine goes. Okay, it's just not a slap on the wrist. You can't be bringing those to school. Don't be sharing them with other people. I've had instances where somebody has shared their marijuana pen with another individual and that person had like an allergic reaction to it. That is something you don't want to get involved with. You can be responsible if they had a serious allergic reaction and they got ill from that. Okay? Parents can call the police and we can take that into effect as well, that, hey, you shared this pen with somebody. Alcohol, it's a minor in possession of alcohol. It goes on a person's driving record. It goes on there, okay? You get a citation for those, okay? Just like your vape pens and citations, those go zippable. You don't come to school drinking, okay? At your guys' level, 6th, 7th, and 8th, shouldn't be drinking at all. Shouldn't be doing the vape pens. We know the harmful effects of vaping. Okay, I'm not even going to get into that with you guys. Pills, controlled substance. Delivery is a felony. So if you bring, maybe mom or dad had a toothache and they got Vicodin or oxycodone, whatever, and you bring that to school, you're in trouble for that. You share it with somebody else, it's delivery, it's a felony. You do not want those charges on your record. Okay, they follow you. You don't want to get into those things. If you come, let's say you got hurt on a football field and you end up getting a pain med, just be careful of how much you're using that. Parents obviously should be watching you, but those can be addictive. And we don't want you to get addicted to those as well. It just becomes a factor of something else you're going to get into later in life with drugs. Consequences of a drug charge, you're going to get those drug charges on you. You're going to go on probation. Juvenile probation is not something you want to be on. Okay, it's not cool to tell all your friends, hey, I'm on juvenile probation, it's great. It's not. Searchers at school. The school can search your backpack. They can search your locker. Those things are not something that when you come to school, oh, it's mine. It's my backpack. It's for the school to look in to make sure that you don't have, if they get word that there's a gun in your backpack or there's other drugs or alcohol that may be in there, they're going to search it. Most likely they're going to call me to come in and we're going to search that backpack. We have a right to. Criminal action subject to arrest. Students can be arrested for a violation of certain laws. So we have, for example, stealing. We call that, it can be retail fraud, it can be a larceny. Okay? Assault, physical or sexual assault, fighting at school. No fighting at school. Sexual assault. Not forcing yourself on somebody else that doesn't want it. If they tell you no, no means no. Okay? Accept that as an answer. Weapons, disorderly conduct, probation violations. So these are all things that you can get in trouble for and you can get arrested as well. It's going to be more of at a juvenile level, so it's going to go into juvenile probation and they're going to make their decisions from there. But we're not bringing weapons to school. They will charge on those. Disorderly conduct, that's being loud, out of control, getting in somebody's space or in their face and just screaming, picking up desks and throwing those, that's what we consider disorderly conduct. And then obviously a probation violation. If you're already on juvenile probation and you're violating your terms as they've told you out, that will go to your probation officer and they'll violate you on them. So then you can just be on probation longer, which I wouldn't want to be on probation at all. Threats towards school. So it's never appropriate to make a threat at school. It's never appropriate to threaten another individual to say, hey, I'm going to shoot John, Mary, Becky, and Jim because I all hate them. They're always teasing me at school and I'm just tired of it. And so I'm going to shoot all these people. Making that statement gets the school involved, gets parents involved, and gets the law enforcement involved. Those threats we take seriously. It's not cool to say, hey, I've got a gun, want to see it? It's not okay to say those things. It's not okay to threaten a school that you're going to shoot up the school because you're tired of what's going on. Those are things, if you're afraid of things that are happening at school to you, you need to make sure an adult knows about it. Whether it's a principal, a teacher, somebody that you have a good relationship with, that you can talk to, that can let the school know, hey, Jim here is having some issues. We need to address this before it gets out of hand and law enforcement is involved. We don't make those threats. We take them seriously. Police have the authority and the ability to search all your personal accounts to ensure safety. I have the right to eventually look through your phone, any of your social media accounts that you have. We can do those. So you can say, well, they're never going to find it. They can't search it. We can get search warrants for those and get that information. Also, what I want to say is that back to the social media, whatever you put out there never goes away. So we can eventually find it. You put something on Snapchat, say you deleted it. Our detectives are great and they can find a way to get that information off those social media sites and off those social media platforms that you are engaging on. Report all concerns. If you're ever worried about somebody's health, safety, or well-being, report this immediately. If you are concerned about somebody's mental health, that they've said that they're feeling suicidal, they're not feeling safe at home, you notice that they're maybe cutting. And when I say cutting, there's cuts on their arms or on their legs that you see. A lot of people will cover that up, but eventually they get close with their friends and they share that information. Those are things that you want to share. I get you don't want to make your friend not trust you, but those are things that we need to make sure that we're handling and that the school is handling as well for you, and that you don't take things into your own hands and be like, oh, well, I'm just going to help my friend. At some point in time, you need to let an adult know about this and help them if you're very concerned. I just want to thank you guys all for listening today, and I hope you take this to heart and that you guys have a great school year and you make good choices out there and you make sure that you contact people that you know. So thank you and have a good school year.